Hey everybody, it's Alex from Motoroso.com, but this is our official Baja Designs installation guide series, and today we're installing the A-pillar system for the new third generation Ford Raptor. Now we made a separate product spotlight video where we go through all the product details and specifications and all the different variations of that A-pillar kit. I'm gonna put a link to that right here, and of course you can shop for that at Motoroso.com. But in this video we're gonna show you how easy it is to install it and hook it up to those OEM auxiliary switches or the S-Pod, which is a very, very cool product on its own. Now my only installation note before we dig in here is that the hardest part of this install is getting that bracket in around the hood and the fairing without scratching the paint. There's a very particular way of putting the bracket in on both sides. Just pay attention to our video. We're going to show you exactly how to do it. Let's go ahead and dig right in.
As usual with any electronics install, it's recommended to disconnect your negative battery terminal. We also recommend prior to installation making any lens changes. But the lights will be very accessible on this A-pillar, so you can do this at any time. We're swapping out for amber lenses. On your Raptor with the hood open, locate these 15mm bolts at the base of the hood hinge and loosen the back one on both the driver and passenger sides. But don't remove them. The bracket will slide under this bolt. On the passenger side, we'll be removing the antenna to make a little room to wiggle the bracket. Then release the cowl tabs and pull up, but you don't need to remove this fully. Now is a good time to protect your paint by applying masking tape to all the surfaces around where the bracket will be sliding in. Now under the cowl, there's another 10mm bolt on each side. These we will remove fully. These bolts have paint on them, so be careful not to strip the head. You can now carefully maneuver the brackets into place. There's definitely a trick to this, so be careful and take your time. We found it best to pass the bracket from the top behind the hood rather than from the front. Make sure to align the upper mount point over the hole for the 10mm bolt and slide the opening in the lower mounting point under the washer on the lower 15mm bolt. You can now replace the 10mm painted bolt at the top and tighten the 15mm bolt at the lower mounting point. With our A-pillar brackets in place, we can now work on placing our XL stainless steel brackets using the large bolt, washer, and nylock nut. You want to tighten these snug, but not so tight that they don't move. Now mount your XL pod to the bracket using the supplied hardware. Again, these should be snug, but just enough so that they can still be moved. With your lights mounted, now feed the harness connector down through the cowl, being sure it will stay clear of the hood hinge action, which could cut the line. With your lights mounted and harness tucked, you can press the hood cowling back in place and replace your antenna. Now it's time to wire in your harness, and this will depend on whether you're wiring to the OEM auxiliary switches or into a switch accessory like the S-Pod that we're using on this Raptor build. The harness that comes with this kit has a positive and negative for power, a snap connector for tying into the upfitter wires, 2 connectors, and a relay. If you're wiring this into the upfitter switches, your aux wires are behind the battery, so the battery needs to come out. You'll reference your manual to identify which wire colors goes to which switch, being sure to reference the amp draw of your A-pillar lights and match that appropriately to the right switch capacity. Use your snap connector to tap into that wire, then run the positive and negative lines to the battery and connect your lights. In our case, we're going to wire directly into the S-Pod accessory, and to do that, we're simply going to cut out the XL connectors and ditch the rest of the harness components. Now we just plug in the XL harness connectors to the light and find a clean path to run the cables and zip tie them out of the way. That completes this install. Test the lights to ensure everything is working and you're ready to tackle the night.
Hope you found this video helpful. If you're ready to purchase that A-pillar kit or any other Baja Designs lights, find your way over to Motoroso.com. We'd be happy to help you. Now, if you want to learn how to install this behind the grill kit, check out this video right here. That's the next up in our Raptor series. Thanks for watching.